1982 was a year of greatness. Michael Jackson's Thriller stuns the world, Cats opened on Broadway, and the introduction of the MRI diagnostic machine changed how we saw the body. And the Toyota Camry also breathed its first breath in 1982. Formerly known as the Celica Camry from 1979 to 1982, the new standalone Camry model was a sedan, a 5-door liftback, eventually a station wagon, and if you wanted a Cooper convertible, Toyota had you covered with the Solara. Camrys derive from the Japanese word kanmuri, meaning little crown, which slotted under the Toyota Crown model, which had been running since 1955 and is now again being offered in America for the first time in 50 years. Needless to say, Toyota likes alluding to royalty, as a Camry was called the Scepter in Japan, which was predated by the Corona/Tiara models. Even the now discontinued Avalon was named after the fabled mythical island from King Arthur. And after 8 generations, nearly 40 years, America's best-selling mid-size sedan is getting ready for a 9th generation. Today, we'll discuss what we can expect from this 9th generation 2024 all-new Toyota Camry. Now, starting with the sales of the model, what I love about how Wikipedia breaks this down is they show how international this vehicle has become. In the US, of course, this is the main market for the Camry. They build most of them here at the Kentucky plant. But in 1988, they also started sending them to the Australian market. And the Australian market also has a big love for the Camry. And it wasn't too long ago that the Camry V6 died there. And it won't be too long before the Camry V6 is no longer be offered in North America as well. But we'll talk powertrains at the later end of this video. So the sales of the Camry peaked in 2007. You can say maybe that's when I peaked. It was, the year I graduated high school. Now you know how old I am. But there you go, 472,000 units. An incredible number that I don't even think the RAV4 is selling that many models per year. That is absolutely insane how many they sold in 2007. Now it has gone down, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, going down to 306,000 in 2011. Now that's when the tsunami hit, but it popped back over 400,000 from 2012 all the way to 2015. And then the fad, hopefully it's a fad because fads go away. I don't know if crossovers are going away. But the dominance of the crossover and the RAV4 and all the other crossovers out there began to take a hold of the market, starting probably in 2015 and 2016. And then by 2021, they're selling about 300,000 Camrys per year in America, 13,000 in Australia, which is down massively because they're selling over 40,000 at some points. Also, we have Canada in here, and China is now a huge connoisseur of the Camry, and it might one day pass the American market's volume just because, look at this growth. Mexico is this column right here, very small volume. This is all of Europe, so very small volume in Europe. They prefer smaller vehicles over there. And then Thailand had it for a few years, 5 years or something like that. Take a snapshot of the Camry hybrids. In 2007, they offered the most Camry hybrids ever. Now you might say, well, they also offered the most Camrys ever that year. They sold the most. So that's a possibility. But as things have become more and more electrified, you would think Toyota would start offering more hybrids. And what has happened is that it's kind of stagnated around 20 to 30,000. Down from 50 to 40. That's interesting. I thought that the Camry hybrids would be going up. So let's switch gears. We'll come back to this in a little bit because these numbers are important and relevant when we get back to powertrains later. So Spider 7 just came out with this, and they're saying the next model design predictions. This is what they're expecting. So we're going to look at these images, and these aren't their images. This is from Kolesa. It's a Russian company that comes out with a lot of predictions, and they're not always accurate, but they come out with some pretty cool looking things. Now, what they're just doing here is slapping the Crown taillights, front lights, and grille onto the current generation Camry. So it's not going to look like this. Now, it might have some design cues, but the whole body is going to be changing. All the panels will be different in theory. And yeah, we might have similar headlights, and I don't expect a similar grille to what you see here like we have on the new Crown. Heading over to Car Vibes, we have the best looking render of what could be a 2024 redesign. Now, all these design cues on the front end of this vehicle are taken straight from the Sport Crown model that was debuted last December. There were 4 Crown models. This one It's probably not coming to the United States, but we could see this sort of styling on it possibly in the new Camry, and I think that would be amazing. Not only does it look amazing from the front with the wraparound headlights and the cool looking grille and the side slits, the CarVibe's also modified the rear end of this Camry to look the part as well. Now, it doesn't look as good as a front end. It looks a little bit off because it's not a crossover, but if we can get a front end that looks like this, it is going to take the market and run with it. In Japan, it's the 10th generation model. Here in America, it's the 8th generation model. And it is sold in 100 countries around the world. And if you go by the 6-year product cycle or product lifespan, traditional automakers, we should expect a new Camry by 2023 as a 2024 model. And even though the new Camry should come out about a year from now, we still haven't heard hardly anything about the vehicle. So I'm bringing up this image of the Crown because I think this is a good template for which the Camry can design its interior from. Now, will we see a fully digital MID standard on the Camry in this new generation? Highly unlikely, but the upper trims, absolutely, you could probably see that. The Crown also has things like advanced park, which I don't expect the Camry to get, but I think this 12-inch screen is a shoe-in for the new model. Not standard, but an available, as well as maybe a digital rearview mirror, which is something that is not offered on the Crown here in America, which is kind of mind-blowing. We'll also see things like a pano roof. We'll also see memory seats on the higher grades. We'll see a head-up display because, well, the current one has a head-up display and the Crown does not have a head-up display. So the Camry will be able to offer some things that the Crown is not, and possibly a larger panoramic sunroof. Here's a lighter interior. This is my favorite interior. I think this is a macadamia interior. And even though this is right-hand drive, just flip the steering wheel around and you have a pretty good idea of what we should expect to some degree with the new Camry. Now for powertrains, which I am the most excited about, the most passionate about, we don't 100% know. I think we can go ahead and say that the V6, rest in peace, which is tough. It's going to be tough for a lot of you out there, which I understand. But look, the V6 has gone on the Highlander. The V6 has gone on the Lexus RX, which share the same K platform that the Camry does. And heck, even the Sienna minivan got rid of its V6 for a fully hybrid powertrain. Does that mean we will see a hybrid powertrain only on the new Camry? I have a few sources saying that that's going to be the case. Not even, they're saying turbocharged here. We could, and I don't think that's likely. I think they'll save that turbocharged hybrid max powertrain for the Crown and higher, more luxury grade vehicles like the RX 500h. I just don't see it happening in the Camry. I see the Camry going more towards smoothness and efficiency. And that's when the 2.5 liter hybrid that it currently has gets an improvement. So the Camry hybrid starts at 28 grand with the LE model. If we go over to Motor Trend, they break it down for us, only 208 horsepower. We see up to 245 horsepower in other examples like what we see in the Sienna hybrid, for example. So this horsepower has some room to improve here. What I would like to see is around 230 horsepower out of this new 2.5 liter hybrid system. 50 miles per gallon minimum, but heck, with new battery technology and more efficient motors, there's a possibility we could stretch this to 55 miles per gallon on the highway. Don't expect cargo capacity to change much, or the curb weight, or any of these exterior dimensions to change much on the Camry. And if we go over to the K platform spreadsheet, has all the hybrid powertrains in the Toyota Lexus lineup. This is kind of currently what the Camry has, the Avalon has, and the Lexus ES has, except it has 208 horsepower in the Camry. Now, the new 350h powertrain that we see in the NX RX, and it has equivalents with the RAV4, the Sienna, the Venza, the Highlander, etc. They all have different horsepower ratings. The new RX and NX, I think, is around 236, 239. The Highlander and Sienna is around 246. The RAV4 hybrid's like 219, for example. So I think we'll see powertrain anywhere from 220 to 230 on this new Camry. We will also have all-wheel drive. That's something that's not available on the current Camry. The only way you can get all-wheel drive on the current Camry is the 2.5 liter non-hybrid with around, I think it's 203 horsepower, 205 horsepower, something very, very modest. But most people rather have that efficiency with the added benefit of the all-wheel drive system, and that's what we would see with this sort of setup. The question is the Camry just going to have one powertrain? Previously, we've had inline 4, we've had hybrid inline four, and then we've had V6. And if it's going fully hybrid, which I'm assuming based off of multiple sources, we could see maybe a plug-in hybrid at some point in time. But I don't think it'll be available at launch, and it would be using this 18.1 kilowatt hour battery. The thing is, we have to wait for essentially 2 plants to open in order to get this battery pack in the Camry here stateside. Either the North Carolina battery plant that Toyota is working on, and they keep investing more and more money on it. It should be opening in 2025. And then you also have the Panasonic plant, and I think that's DeSoto, Kansas, opening up in around 2025 as well, or 2024. And most of those batteries might actually be going to Tesla, not Toyota. But the fact that it's so far away from Austin, Texas, where the new Gigafactory is for Tesla, I think it's going to be a universal battery plant for Toyota, Tesla, and maybe other OEMs as well. So we're still going to be waiting, I think, a while for a plug-in hybrid Camry. There's a small potential we get this top-of-the-line powertrain, which is a 2.4-liter turbo. It's in the new Crown, for example. It has 340 horsepower there and 400 pound-feet of torque. So it would be that sort of spec that we would see in it if it comes to the Camry. I don't know if they would put that expensive of a powertrain in the Camry. It's good to have options. I just don't know if it fits the Camry's character. I know the V6 was fantastic, and the V6 is essentially the same speed as this 500h, as it gets around 5.7 seconds 0 to 60 on the Lexus RX, for example. And we're going to finish by looking at the sales. How is Toyota going to pump out 10 times the amount of hybrids for this Camry as they did previously? In 2021, they sold over 300,000 Camrys total, and they only sold 33,000 as hybrids. Then they're going to increase that by tenfold. That's going to be an impressive feat. And the proof is out there that Toyota can do this. The thing is we've never seen it on this sort of volume or scale. So we're looking at sales right now for the Toyota Sedan and minivan. They've been selling from about 130,000 to about 110,000 lately. And we look at 2019, 2018, 2020, very low total sales. But by 2021, they have the fully hybrid Sienna minivan come out. Massive demand, selling over 100,000 hybrid-only Sienna minivans. So if they can do it there on that vehicle, they can also do it on the Camry, and that would make a huge splash for the brand. The Camry hybrid starts at about $28K, the base $26K. So there's about a $2,000 difference. Here's the cool thing. I think Toyota could very well lower the price of the hybrid, but it will go up from this price. There's no doubt, but it's not going to go up, I don't think, from the $28K, even with inflation, even with everything getting more expensive. I think Toyota will be able to bring in this base hybrid Camry for around $27, $28K. So only maybe $1,000, $1,500 more than the base non-hybrid Camry that we currently have. I got to end it there. I'm sure I've gone on a little bit too long. Are you guys excited for the new Camry fully hybrid? Take that with a grain of salt. That's just what I'm hearing. 2024 model year, and we just don't know exactly when this will come out. I'm going to say it'll come either by the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024, depending on any delays. And if that's the case, it could end up being a 2025 model, just depending on when it falls in the calendar and which year. But I'm going to end it there. I'll see you down below. I'll see what you guys have to say with this new Camry. Smash the like button if you made it this far in the video, and smash the like button for the respect of the best-selling sedan in America, that is the Camry. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Subscribe for more Camry news, and also for my Crown driving impressions, which will happen in about a week or so. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching, and peace out.